Cemetery up near Willinsden. Willinsden? Near that way. Kensal Green. Pedalled up this afternoon. Quite large. It's larger than Brompton. And just wanted to get out of London, out of the centre. And there's some nice structures here as well. Beautiful old crypts. I'll show you in the morning. Show you a bit more. It's a bit dark now to show you. I'll just show you where I've decided to kip up for the night. I'm just spin you around. That's my bike under the tarp, creating a wall between this wall here and that wall. And I have my bedroll laid out in the middle. And it's still quite windy. But it's the best I can do tonight. You'll see it better in the morning. I'll see you then. Sweet dreams. Well, the brew's on when I've just woken up, just after 8 o'clock. It's a beautiful day. But the temperature has got a nip to it. Oh! I'm just getting the first sign of winter. Or one of the many first signs, I should say. We'll wrap up, put another couple of layers on, I think. Good morning, good morning. It's very gusty is the wind, but it's a beautiful day. It's a clear-ish sky. It's bright. I slept well. And I have tea. What more is there? Sleeping well and a cup of tea. I've just spent 2 nights sleeping here. It's not just any graveyard. This place is basically London's Gothic backstage. It's been around since 1833 and it was inspired by Paris's famous Père Lachaise. Can't stray too far because I've got all my gear stashed over there. But it certainly outperforms the Brompton Cemetery, this one, from what I have seen. I've not seen much of it. There seem to be more ornate crypts around here. (1867). That one there, and that's a real good nick as well. Deputy Lieutenant of Cudingtonshire, founder of the Royal Medical Benevolent College, 1867. Marcus Antonius Waters of the Royal Engineers, 1868. I wonder, these little crypts you've got around the place, like the mini houses, I mean, you know, probably talking $2,000 a month in rent there, if you're back in London for something that big. But like, this has got a date, 1886. I wonder what the latest one is. I wonder when they went out of fashion. I wonder when they stopped being a thing to have. Mausoleum, there we go, that's what they are. That's the word I was trying to find, the mausoleum. Harriet Mitchell. 35, it's even got the address. Sacred and most affectionate memory of Harriet Mitchell, the dearly loved wife of John Chinwath of 35 Holland Park. Taking your address to the grave as well. I love it. These were possibly opened up at one stage, I'd say, but because of the homeless situation, they've had to board them up because people are probably using them for shelter. I've noticed that with a few of them. (1885), that's an ornate one, isn't it? Almost looks like it's lead, but it's just very worn sandstone, I would assume. Rose Elizabeth, also known as Betty. Alright, Betty love. And down the bottom, something at Middlesex Militia. The militia. Isn't that like anti-establishment when they call something a militia? Someone correct me on that. Or confirm it. Oh, actually, that might be a nice little... It's doing that for the thumbnail. Right there, I think. Woohoo! So, if you've not guessed it already, this is a cemetery up Willesden, Kensal Green. As I was turning up yesterday evening, I was just heading towards the gates, and there was a lady about to lock the gate up. And I was like, oh! Is there any chance I can get, how long have I got? She goes, oh, you got 10 minutes. And all right, Granny will be pleased. I'll just go and say hello and I'll be back. I never made it back. I could probably show you this in the daylight now. I did do it last night as well, but this ornate thing here. Oh, look at the carving on that one over there. Let's have a nosy, and then I'll shoot back and show you where I kicked last night. Forrester Walker Family Vault. It's a shame it's a bit damaged. And of course the family forget about you after a few generations, don't they? So no one's here to sort of upkeep it. Look at the workmanship on that. Forster died in 1823, 1825 and 1827. No way. 8 months and 25 days. 22 months and aged just a few days. I had a good look online to see if I could find any history about this particular vault, apart from a mention of it being a listed one due to the ornate nature of it. There's not really any information on the tragedy that struck this family, apart from that it was in the high Victorian mortality rate for infants. Oh, don't say there's more on the other side. Oh, there is too. (1828), 3 years, 10 months. Not sure why Isabella's been... I wonder if that's just a bad part of sandstone or whether it's actively been taken off. 3 years and 3 months, 1836. That's really sad. Lydia, Isabella, and somebody Jane. Whoa, look at this. This one here is about to fall over. Oh, and that falling on me noggin. But there's lots of stories in here. In any cemetery, anywhere. I bet there's loads of stories that we just have lost. Something up there called the Dissenters Chapel. What's a dissenter? Internet, do your thing. Dissenter sounds like people that have gone against the grain in a way. Gone against the flow. So apparently the Dissenters Chapel is where some seriously bold minds rest. You've got the radicals, the reformers, nonconformists, people who shook the rules of the day. It's a quiet place, but each grave tells a story of someone who challenged the status quo, being respectful, radical, and utterly human all in one. Amazing. This is where I was. It's a bit messy now because I've lived in it for 12 hours. But this here, that's my bike. under the tarp. I purely done it like that just to keep the wind off because it was blowing a gale through here yesterday. And it still is a bit. Put the brolly up because it was raining as well and the wind was blowing in. There you go. It's actually this is something I discovered. I don't know, absent-mindedly put my thin thermal out kit mat on top of my slowly deflating camp mat. And that, it's far comfier having that on top of the mat than it is having it underneath, I tell you. It just takes out it smooths all the bumps out in a way, because you've got, obviously, it's hard to explain, but if you've got a thin thermal foam mat, put it on top of your camp mat, it's a game changer. Right, I want to get back to me tea. Might have a tidy up here. I might pack up that bit. I might stay here tonight as well, you know. Because as bad as the weather was, in here it was quite sheltered. Or maybe choose another spot around here. I might have a cycle around. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pack up all my crap, all my gear I've got in there. Chuck it back on my shoulders and stuff. Back on my bike. And have a cycle around. But it's a huge place, this place. So I might go and do a bit of exploring. Have a look at some of the more ornate little crypts. And see if anything pops out. So I'll touch base later. And then it's going to be, hopefully, another camp set up later as well, somewhere. Yeah, I've just been walking around the cemetery with my bike, sort of just on the perimeter areas. And, oh man, I'll show you actually where I'm at, because it's quite special. I just love this natural decay. It's such an apocalyptic scene in a way. Like, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead or any of that sort of genre, it's, yeah, you could really, I could really get lost in here in a special way. In fact, I think what I'm going to do when I find a suitable spot that feels good, I think I'm just going to put my bike off to the side and just have a sit for half an hour and do nothing. And just sit there and be and listen. Close the eyes and listen. Thomas Fenwick Esquire. Oh, steel door there. Can't see a date. Oh man, look at these here. So that's something you'd come across in the middle of the Amazon jungle. Just nature taking over, you know, and you get the jungle reclaiming the lost cities. It's got such a special vibe here. I'm loving it. Really loving it. There's something beautiful about natural decay of a man-made object. And you know what? This looks like as good a place as any. There's even a little form there to sit on. Nice glade. Might see a bit of wildlife when I'm here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna chill here. Oh. Oh. Good afternoon, Mahendra Kumar Premji. I hope you don't mind if I share this space with you for a while. What do you know? All this space. What are the chances?
This place is surprisingly alive. I've seen foxes here, loads of squirrels, and the amount of bird life, woodpeckers, robins. I've even seen an owl, but unfortunately I've just been too slow to capture them on film. Even this morning as I edit this, and I'm sat in my little non-geometric shaped tent that I've created, I had a fox walk past, not 6 feet from me. He just turned his head, looked at me, and carried on about his day. Probably heading back to his little burrow there to go to sleep. It's amazing. Life always finds a way, even amongst the departed.
The symbolism really interests me, this type of symbolism. I'm not sure why. There's a glass. I wonder if that's an all-seeing eye at the top there. Can you see it? Because it's got like a marble type. You know, when you were a kid you used to play marbles. Urban Kiwiana is one for you, dude. Andrew de Croo died when he was leading his men into the battle in the attack of Rangirehe, New Zealand, November the 20th, 1861. By the looks of it, might be 64. Urban Kiwiana has a channel in New Zealand. Does some good walks in the New Zealand bush. You can check him out if you haven't. Well, I think you've probably seen enough of this graveyard now, so I'm going to go and find another spot to kip in. It's more than likely going to be in the same area, I'd say, because that's the only shelter I've seen here. And rosemary, that's quite a nice cross. I like that, with the reef hanging over. Rosemary Brabant, they've done you proud. What? No way! Hey, it is, yes, civil engineer. Mark Isambard Brunel, is that Isambard Kingdom Brunel? Is it? It is Isambard Kingdom Brunel. Oh, Isambard, yes, there he is. Isambard Kingdom Brunel, civil engineer. Died 1859, yes, that's the man himself and his family. Right the way through to 1929. Oh, wow. It's just a big chunk of granite. I would have thought he may have had something a bit more architecturally suiting, as it were. Isambard, dude. Been a big fan of his work for a long while. Lady Campbell of Croy, great-great-granddaughter of Isambard Kingdom Brunel, died 2009. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to go and find a spot to kip up now and get some tea on the go. I've got quite a scrumptious meal planned. It's going to be baked beans and sausages in the one can, that type. They're quite expensive these days. I think when I priced one up last time, it was like over £3. Quite disheartening that was, but I did find one for £2, so I bought one. And I have a can of spam, which I'm going to fry up and then cube up, along with some mixed veggies as well for frying up, stir-fry type veggies.
This path I'm going down at the moment has the canal on the left-hand side, and there is some really old ornate gates somewhere, which I've been unable to find as yet. I used to unload the coffins from back in the day and take away the excess soil as well on the canal network.
Oh, I've had thorns on it, that one. Okay, cook up time. I have cubed my spam. Cubed the spam up. The idea is I want to fry that. If that doesn't produce any fat, then I have still left, which I've just melted over the steam. In here I've got my mixed veggies that I have lightly steamed. And the steam from that has melted my chorizo fat from several days ago when I had the lamb kofta patties at the maintenance yard in one of the Royal Parks. Still going good. So if the spam doesn't produce fat, then I can tip some of that in. So my first job is to fry off the spam. And then I'm going to add the baked beans. I might put that aside, the spam, put it aside when it's fried off and crisped up a bit. Get the beans in there with the sausages. Good old Heinz. If you want a sponsorship deal, Heinz, come and see me. Same with Yorkshire tea. Probably more, forget Heinz. Heinz, go away. No, Yorkshire tea. If you're listening, we could have a deal. We could do the deal of the century. Yorkshire tea. Anyway, it's enough about tea for now. So let's fry that off. There's a little bit of fat being produced, not a lot though. So I've decided to stay another night in this cemetery. No reason to go anywhere. I've got nowhere to be. It's one of the joys of this. So this might be... There's a water tap out there as well. Just noticed. Smelling quite nice now. Doesn't take long. Yeah, I think I might tip in some of that fat actually. She's a little sticky. We'll use that up. We'll use it up and then we'll save whatever's made. Oh yeah. I've not had spam for years. So this is basically a new experience. When I was this mid-morning when I left here, just predominantly to go and get some milk, but I ended up getting a bit of a meal at this cafe, just a good breakfast. And I got chatting to this fellow on the way in. He was selling honey at the side of the road, just on a wooden table, from his own hives he's got in his back garden. Raw honey, straight from the hive. So I got a jar of that, and I've got a tiger loaf, which I'm going to enjoy later with that honey. But he was a Kiwi from Hawke's Bay. Kiwi from Hawke's Bay. Lots of Kiwis coming on the radar at the moment. So we had a good chat. He was asking me if I was on holiday and where I was travelling. So we had a good chat about my not normal life, if you would. So now this is where the juggling happens, because I need to save the water from the veggies. So I shall tip the spam back in there, give that a bit of a mix up. Looks like real cowboy food, that. I shall get the water from the veggies and tip it into there. Blue. What's going on with that? Black. Probably from the red cabbage, I'd say. And then we can tip that into there. I could drink that water actually. I was going to use it to do the dishes, but I might end up drinking it, yeah? I don't know. Looks nice, got a nice colour to it. Apparently carrots used to be that colour. The original carrots used to be that red colour. Like carrots, the first carrot to ever happen was red. Not red, blue, bluey purple. Let me do a better shot. I can do that justice. Hold on 1 second. I'll come. There we have it. That looks quite delish. We got the beans, we got the chunks of spam fried off, and we've got the veggies. Delish. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so I think I've probably got about 20 minutes to half an hour before the sun sets. And over that way, it looks like there is rain coming. We reckon. Wind's coming that way too, I think. Anyway, this is what it is. And I am in between rows, I've decided to move away from that big mausoleum area tonight. Do something a little bit stealthy. Purely because I think people have seen me hanging here today, so just in case there's any hooligans around and they want to decide to pay a visit, then they're going to be pleasantly surprised that I'm not there. I'm here, in the shadows. I've purposely set my tarp in a non-geometric fashion in a way, so there's no sort of straight lines to give away. You can see it looks very random, which I'm hoping will help hide it in this little nook here, especially when darkness is here. I'll show you around the other side. So there is one entry only, and that is from this way. My bike, I'll move my bike. I'll get my brollies up the front. It's quite spacious. It's spacious on the inside. Snug and spacious if that's possible. I'll put my bag further down the back, and the food bag, which I've just ripped. Quite annoying that. It was quite a good foil-lined food bag. Yeah, I'll have to find someone else now. I'll shift that off over to the other side. The bike I might put upside down at the entranceway here and pin the excess of this tarp up so that it creates a sort of a bit of a wall there. But I'll see about that when it goes dark. So that's going to be me for tonight. So, yeah, sort of a bit of a stealth camp on the second night. Purely for the hooligan factor. I'll see you in the morning. Sweet dreams, people. You know, walking through here, it's easy to think of this as just another graveyard or cemetery. But in the 1800s, this place was a game changer. All the churchyards around London, they were overflowing. Graves stacked on graves, bodies leaking into the water supply, and cholera outbreaks ripping through the city. And it was Parliament passed the Burials Act. And private companies created a ring of grand new cemeteries like this one, known colloquially as the Magnificent Seven. They weren't just burial grounds. These were designed like Victorian theme parks of death. You had landscape gardens, winding paths, ornate monuments, and grand family vaults like the one beside me. Think of them as a cross between a cathedral, botanical garden, and a sculpture park. Here's something quirky for you. In the mid-1800s, Londoners, they'd buy a cemetery season ticket. Families came here to stroll, read poetry, listen to live music, even picnic beside the tombs. It was considered a wholesome, moral way to spend a Sunday afternoon. And another one is, many cemeteries, they employed like professional mutes. There were men dressed head to toe in black with top hats and blank expressions, hired just to stand silently at funerals. It was all about spectacle. Over time, the fashions changed and families moved away. The living stopped visiting, vines crept in, stoneworks crumbled, and the wildlife took over. Today, these cemeteries sit halfway between history and wilderness, buzzing with birds, foxes, and stories etched into stone. What's powerful is that this place isn't just for the dead. It's a living archive, a time capsule of Victorian London, carved into marble and moss. Go back to my little cave. Oh, that's it, folks. It's just going up for 1 in the afternoon. It is. I've pretty much just been sitting in this same spot. So, as I was saying, I've pretty much just been sat there all morning doing a rough edit on tonight's release. And I'm seriously sort of thinking along the lines, I might just stay up this way tonight as well. I don't have to be at work till 7:30 in the morning, so. And I've got there's another fella coming in the morning for a bit of training. Guy that's taking over from the other guy that's just had to leave. So it's not like it's going to be a strenuous morning at all. And I might think about going down the Dissenters chapel. Skipping down there. Be amongst my kind, as it were. Or should have been. So I'm just going to load up. I'm going to have another fly by the canal wall as well. See if I can see this ornate gate that's mentioned on Wikipedia that I read. I'm going to try and find that. I might get some stills of that. So I'll go and do that now, I think. Go down, fly by. Got to find a hose tap as well. Gotta have a good wash. I have soap. A bin for the rubbish. Right. So I'll brush my pegs. And hopefully you'll see this old ornate cast iron gate that apparently is in the canal wall. I really want to find that, so I'm going to have a good look. Okay, I think I have found them. Not as ornate as what I believed from the write-up. Still, considering they're going to be nearly 200 years old, that is the gates that used to ferry the people from the canal and the soil to the canal to be carted in or carted away. I was hoping there might have been a good old padlock on there, but that ironwork is just beautiful. Just the way that patina is. The modern cable lock doesn't do much for the aesthetics, but there you go. Now apparently with that steel being as old as it is, there's something about the older steel being quite attractive to manufacturers that use it because it was before the atomic age, before the nuclear age. And something to do with the initial blast of the explosion that obviously penetrates everything and penetrated everything. It does something to the makeup of the steel, the molecules, which makes the modern ore, the modern steel, not as good a quality as what the original steel pre-blast was is considered. So correct me, it's something along those lines. I'm not 100% of the facts and everything, but that's the Dissenters Chapel. Well, I think I'll call that a wrap. I've quite enjoyed my few days here. Into my third day now, 2 nights and 3 days. To say it's in the middle of suburbia, it's really quite peaceful here. And what I've read about the place, the history and stuff, I find, personally myself, I find that quite amazing. Especially coming across Isambard Kingdom Memorial. That was pretty cool. And upon further reading, W.H. Smith of the bookstore fame is also buried here. Quite a few well-known people on the list. Till next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Means a lot.